What's up, schmucks, and welcome to Turkey Talk, the show where Turkey talks about movies, and also comic books and TV shows, but mostly just movies. Hi, what's going on? I don't know. I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes trying to workshop an intro, and it's not easy. I'm gonna have to write one, but I think I kind of nailed it by the end there. Anyway, what we do here is we talk about the latest movie news from the past week, or at least the movie news that I have something to say about. Then we're going to do a topic. This week we're going to talk about Michael. I have things to say. And then we have the Weekly Media Club, where we go over the homework that I've assigned, which is I assign a movie to watch every week. And if you are to watch it, you leave comments, I guess, on this video, and then I would respond to that in the next episode of the show. No one's done it yet. That's okay. We're still making progress, you know? Anyway, homework was The Apprentice, the Donald Trump origin story movie. And I watched it, and I have things to say. And then I will assign new homework for next week's episode. And then I want to talk about Wonder Woman, the new Absolute Wonder Woman issue came out. But anywho, so for news this week, it's really just a lot of trailers. It's actually looking at my sheet here, it's all trailers except for one, kind of news story. So we have the Spider-Noir trailer. Actually, there's a little news with Spider-Noir I nestled in there. We have the first trailer for Evil Dead Burn. We have the Coyote versus ACME trailer. And then we have the Clayface trailer, which I think I'm going to save for last because that's the thing I'm most interested in talking about. But I also made a video talking about the Clayface trailer. So you know what? I might do that one first just because I've kind of already talked about it in a different thing. And then we're going to talk about Noah Hawley. He had an interview with Deadline out this week. Really good read, I thought. He had some interesting things to say about Alien Earth and Far Cry. And his comments about Far Cry are kind of getting dragged, and I'd like to talk about it. So yeah, we got a handful of trailers to discuss and the Noah Hawley thing. And we're going to talk about Michael, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So yeah, we'll have a good show. Last week's episode was long as shit because we had the CinemaCon stuff to go through. And then Mummy was last week, and then Absolute Batman and whatever movie I assigned for homework. I don't know, but yeah, probably not that. This probably won't be that long. So let's just get into it. Let's have fun. God, I'm so hungover. Okay, Spider-Noir. We're actually 2 trailers this week. 3 technically in a sense. So they released a trailer going over the villains of the show. And then they had an actual trailer for the show, but they released a black and white version and a color version. And then there was also some news, and I guess we'll talk about the news up top. There are other Spider-Man projects in the work similar to Spider-Noir. And apparently the deal is that they want to take a genre and then throw a Spider-Person into it. So this is crime drama, noir thriller, or crime noir of old type stuff. Put a Spider-Man in there. And then we had heard rumors, back when the second Spider-Verse movie came out, that Spider-Punk would be getting a solo movie. Daniel Kaluuya would be involved. That has not gone anywhere to my knowledge. And then there's been rumors of a Spider-Woman with Gwen Stacy movie. Those rumors have existed since the first Spider-Verse movie and have gone nowhere. So I don't dislike the idea, though, to start with Spider-Noir, because I love genre superhero movies. I think that is the best way to do some of these superhero projects, because there's only so many times you can do guy in super suit, fight guy in super suit, save day, right? I don't know if that's really going to do it anymore. Even comic books, are kind of switching it up, right? Daredevil right now is doing light political thriller with the Kingpin stuff to be being the mayor. The Batman's a crime drama. The Dark Knight is a crime drama. Ant-Man's a heist movie. Things like that. The Guardians movies are just they're not even superhero movies really. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies are more really just fun sci-fi space adventures. The last real superhero movie I can think of, I guess Superman. That's pretty much just a cut and dry superhero movie. But yeah, I like the idea of doing a genre and throwing a Spider-Person in there. And I think having done the Spider-Verse movies and seeing the success in that, Sony's realizing that this is the key. I do think it's funny that they wasted so much of their time on Spider-Man villain movies without Spider-Man. Like, what if Morbius was a good guy and played by Jared Leto? Yeah, that's gonna fucking work. I mean, Venom got a trilogy. It's not good, but he got one. You know what I'm saying? I do think, though, it's an interesting idea that I don't think Sony is worthy of. I don't think anybody on the Sony payroll has good ideas anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, the Spider-Verse movies work, and I honestly would love to know how that works, because a lot of people, when they talk about movies and stuff, they talk about, like, Sony made a movie, Disney made a movie, Disney made Star Wars. That's normie talk. That's not how this works. Disney owns Star Wars. The people that work at Disney, like Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni, they are, what's it called? Like the runners of Star Wars, the producers of Star Wars. They don't even make the Star Wars movies. So blaming Kathleen Kennedy for any Star Wars thing, that's not really on her. It's not really how the hierarchy operates. It was her job to find people that would make Star Wars movies. She had J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, Colin Trevorrow. And they fired Colin Trevorrow, and they ended up bringing back Abrams. But still, like, Disney doesn't make Star Wars movies. Disney produces Star Wars movies. Star Wars movies are produced under Disney's ownership. But Disney is not making Star Wars. Sony is not making Spider-Man movies. They are producing Spider-Man movies and TV shows that are being made by different creative teams. But at the same time, how do they have a creative team that is creating like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, but at the same time they hire a creative team that makes Madam Web? Like, that's shocking to me. You'd think that the quality would be a little more consistent, like at Marvel Studios, where, you know, Feige runs that ship, you know. And not to say that all the Marvel movies are consistent, but there is like a through line to them. You know, even like the best ones to the worst ones, there's still through lines. There's still like Marvelisms to them that Feige probably enforces. So I do think it's interesting that at Sony, they hire people that make Morbius, but they also hire people that make the Spider-Verse movies. That's very shocking to me. I don't know. I think it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, the idea behind doing genre-based movies or shows and including a spider character, I think, is really fascinating. I would be down for like a Spider-Man heist thing, or, you know, Spider-Man in the future. You know, I mean, those exist in comic books, Spider-Man 2099, and you could do a lot of different things with that. I do wonder, though, because this show, Spider-Noir, is running into, like, I don't even know if it's a rights issue, because it is Sony, but, like, they're not calling him Spider-Man in the show. He's called The Spider, and their excuse was like, oh, well, you know, it's, fucking, what's it called? It's supposed to be, like, The Phantom, that era of superhero. But at the same time, like, Marvel Studios owns they own the TV rights to Spider-Man, which is why that they made the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, the animated one, which is very good. But like, that's made under Disney, because Disney owns the TV show rights to Spider-Man. But I don't know if maybe that's like an animated thing, because then this show, it does exist, but he's not Spider-Man. He's not Peter Parker. He's Ben Reilly. He's the Spider. It's Spider-Noir, not Spider-Man Noir. You know, like, there's a rights issue there. And so I wonder, how far can you push this until it becomes, we either completely need the rights back, or we're going to give the live action rights to Marvel Studios. I don't know. I mean, how much juice does this have? And in addition to that, there were also reports, I think it was last week or the week before, that Sony's not done with the Venomverse. They want to go back to the villain stuff. And there's an animated Venom movie allegedly in production. So Sony is kind of firing on all different fronts. Insomniac's making another Spider-Man game. There was reports this week they were going to make a Venom game, but they scrapped it, partially because of the passing of Tony Todd. So, you know, Sony is using this brand very effectively, I guess is the word, which I love. And I also love that not all of it's connected. I really do have a big appreciation for the superhero media that is not all linked together. I've grown so tired of cinematic universes. I love that Matt Reeves' Batman stuff is entirely its own shit. The fact that he's not going to meet David Corenswet's Superman, as good as that pairing would be, I like that that's not happening. I like that he exists in a Batman universe that is contained, and it's entirely run by Matt Reeves and his vision. That's cool. If only they'd release that second movie. I'm sad that I've had to wait 5 fucking years. I'm an old man now. I need it. Anyway, I do like the idea of there being like Tom Holland's Spider-Man existing in that universe, and then we have the game stuff going on in like a different universe, and then we have the Spider-Verse stuff, and we have this noir stuff, like a different noir. It's not the same noir from the movies. So we've branched into an entirely new universe and dimension and what have you. I like that. I think that is a really good use of the multiverse concept. And a good use of the brand in a meta way. Anyway, to actually talk about the trailer, this looks fine. There are parts of it I think that look really good, and then there's parts of it that look very cheap. I don't know what the budget's looking like on this show. And to be fair, Spider-Man has never been done in this way. His only TV things have been animated. And all the live action stuff's been in film. You know, multi-million-dollar budget movies, tens of millions of dollars going into hundreds going into Spider-Man movies that, you know, look incredible when they're not made in the MCU. And to put him on a small scale thing, TV with a, you know, smaller budget, what have you, is, I don't know. I don't know, because I think some of this looks very good and some of this does not look very good at all. I do like the use of the villains, I will say, because the villains in the Spider-Man Noir comics, I always found a little lacking. They don't have powers. Like, I should say, there's a couple different runs of Spider-Man Noir. The original run, I don't like. I really don't care for it. Like, Norman Osborn is the kingpin of New York. In this, it's Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson. And he's, you know, they call him the Goblin. He's the Goblin, you know, and he's got his little pack of fucking ghouls. And he's got the Vulture, and he's a cannibal, and he eats Uncle Ben. And he's got Craven the Hunter, and this, and that. But they're not even like, they're not like interesting evolutions or deconstructions or adaptations of those characters. Like Craven the Hunter in the mainline Marvel stuff is the greatest hunter on the planet. He's hunted every animal. He's mastered it all. He's this, and that. He's the best. Peak human form, blah, blah, blah. So he sees Spider-Man and decides, like, that's my target, my white whale. I'm going after him. If I can beat him, then I'm the best there is. Which is kind of funny when you've got people like fucking Captain America running around. Anyway, but in the Spider-Man Noir thing, he's just like a circus trainer. He's just got some animals around, and he's just like, I'm Craven the Hunter, and I like tigers. He's not interesting. And, you know, Vulture, he just has like a beak. Like, oh, we call him the Vulture. He's a beak. He's a real fucking scavenger. He's a real fucking lunatic. He's a real gross, gangly freak. But you call him the Vulture because he's got fucking wings, dude. Because he flies and shit. He's the Vulture. It's just uninteresting to me. And in, like, there's another run of the Spider-Man Noir comics with Sandman. Oh, he's the Sandman. You know why they call him the Sandman? Because he puts you to sleep. Ooh, the Sandman. Where's his powers? Why isn't he turning into sand? What are we fucking doing? Ooh, we've got Clayface. You know why we call him Clayface? Because his name is Clay and he's got a fucking face. Like, that's what we're doing here. It's not very good. I'm tired of people gassing up the Spider-Man Noir comics. They're not interesting. They're really short. They don't have... There's interesting ideas. I like the idea of, like, Spider-Man existing in, what's it called? The Depression, the Great Depression era New York. That's all really cool. The things they do with Ben Urich. The things that they do with, Black Cat. She runs a speakeasy. Aunt May is a communist. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff happening there. But it's the Spider-Man element. The Peter Parker stuff is cool. The Spider-Man stuff I don't care for. So this show kind of rectifies that for me. It's doing that interesting stuff about, like, these villains that have their superpowers and they're, you know, like, put through the lens of noir crime thriller. I really like that. I think that's really interesting. I I do think it's funny though that they're using megawatt and not electro. You think they would just use electro. So I wonder if that's a rights thing or if it's one of those like, oh, electro's too silly, we have to use megawatt, which sounds stupider, I think. Like a guy who controls electricity, you'd call him electro. I know megawatt is a character in the comics. I know that, but it's just funny to me. It's got to be some kind of rights issue. It has to be. But yeah, I mean, they're doing Sandman, Tombstone, Silvermane. Silvermane's interesting to me because in the comics, he is a crime boss, but he's also got a big giant like robot mech suit. They're obviously not going to do that. So in this, he is just going to be a guy. You should have done Hammerhead because you can have him be like standard mob boss guy, but you can also do like the fucking Hammerhead thing and make him dangerous. I'm also not super big on the whole Nick Cage casting. I like him in those movies. He's got a good voice for this character. And then in one of these trailers, you hear him speak as Spider-Man, and I like the voice he's doing. It sounds very pulpy, like Adam West Batman kind of stuff, which I like, which he kind of does in Kick-Ass. But I just think he's old. He's too old for this. And I know that they're doing the whole, like, he was Spider-Man in his youth. Or maybe not his youth. He just was Spider-Man, but he's quit. And so he's coming back to do it again. I would have just preferred a young guy who becomes Spider-Noir. And he's, just going through that. And that's something that the comic does do really well, is this young angry man in a world where he knows that corruption runs everything, and he finally has the means to actually like fight power in a meaningful way. What does he do with that? But because like all media is propaganda about how we shouldn't fight the ruling class, he ultimately beats up the bad guys, but then's like, I won't kill you. I'll let the law handle this, even though you control every aspect of the law and you own the courts and the police. I'll trust the system. Yeah, that's another conversation for a different day about superhero media being propaganda for the ruling class. That's not important. Either way, I think Spider-Noir looks okay. It does look cheap. The webs being gray, I think, is a cool choice. It doesn't look very good, though. Some of the swinging looks really good, and some of it doesn't look very good at all. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. They're dropping it all at once, so there won't be a weekly release schedule. Just binge the whole thing in like a day or two, so I like that. I am a little conflicted on how to watch it, though, because it's being released in black and white and in color. And you'd think you would just want to watch it in black and white because it's Spider-Noir. But it looks fucking spectacular in color. Like, it's gorgeous. The shot composition's incredible. The color grading's incredible. It looks really good. So, I don't know, man. It might be one of those, like, watch one episode in color, watch the next one black and white. That could be something. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Anywho, next up, let's talk about Evil Dead Burn. Evil Dead Burn trailer. This played before The Mummy in theaters last week, which was really cool. I had heard that they were doing that, but it kind of slipped my mind when I was sitting there. And then when it started, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then you get the big title draw, Evil Dead Burn. It's really cool. Good trailer, just using a clip from the movie as like a oneer from the movie, as your teaser trailer. That's really cool. Looks interesting. You see one of the Deadites floating. That's interesting. From memory, they've never done that before. But anywho, they also released a synopsis, so I'll read that for you now. After the loss of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in-laws in their secluded family home. As one by one they are transformed into Deadites, turning the gathering into a family reunion from hell, she comes to discover that the vows she took in life live on even in death. I'm just curious, how did they get... is it the Necronomicon or the Necromonicon? I always say one that I know is wrong, but I can't remember which one that I usually say. The Necromonicon? The Necromonicon? That's what I'm saying. I'm just going to go with that. The Book of the Dead. I want to know how they get it, who reads it, and how many people are in this house. Because the last one had the carnage, and it had... The main Deadite was the mom, and I like that. She was really good. What a great performance. But I could have done with more Deadite shit. So I'm hoping this one leans into that. It looks like there's a handful, actually. Unless it's just a lot of people, like normal people, just kind of running around like crazy in this teaser. It looks like there might actually be a couple Deadites already, so that's cool. But again, like I swear to God, one of them is floating. Like there's a guy who kind of just like it looks like he's just floating like a little off the ground in the back of the shot. That's the part that sticks out to me the most. But yeah, I mean, I like Evil Dead. This looks pretty good. I don't know who's directing this. I'm going to look it up. Evil Dead Burn director. Evil Dead Burn's being directed by Sebastian Venisek. He's a French filmmaker. Interesting. Google AI says that he is known for his 2024 debut feature, Infested. Intriguing. Huh, okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I like Evil Dead. I like the last one. I liked the Fede. Is it Fede Alvarez who made Evil Dead? Was that him? I think it was. Was it not? The one from, like, what was that, 2013? It was 2013. Yeah, Evil Dead 2013. This is Fede Alvarez, is it not? It is Fede Alvarez. I like that one a lot. I think that one's really, really good. But yeah, I like Evil Dead. Looking forward to this. Good shit. The next trailer we're going to talk about... Oh, we're going to do... I meant to talk about Clayface first. Yeah, we'll do Clayface because I made a video about Clayface. I filmed myself reacting to the trailer, but I don't have it in me to like go, his face is clay. I don't have it in me to do that. I get secondhand embarrassment from people doing that. I know people like it. I know people really eat it up. But I also don't find trailer reactions interesting. Be like, oh, I'm going to watch you watch something I've already watched. And I already had my reaction. I'm going to watch you react and do a thing. That is the least interesting part of that shit to me. I wanted to really just break down the trailer, and I did. I made a video. It's like 27 minutes long, I think, like that. Where I just break down the trailer. I go through it and I talk about it. I love Clayface. He's my favorite Batman villain. I've read a bunch of Clayface comics. I got a bunch on the shelf over there somewhere. I love Clayface, so I brought the knowledge and I went through the trailer. But it looks good. It looks really, really good. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to repeat myself, so I would say just go watch the video. I am working on another Clayface video. I wanted to go over everything that I was thinking, all the things that we know, some speculation stuff, like in a finer detail, and I reached out to somebody to collab about it, so we'll see if that pans out. But yeah, I mean, I already made a video about it, so just watch that. But it looks really good. I'm really looking forward to it. See if there's anything I might want to say. I hope it's gross. I hope it's really gross, and I hope it's scary. It's been a while since a horror movie like really, really struck me. I think the last time a horror movie kind of freaked me out in any capacity was Smile 2. Yeah. And the last movie to gross me out was The Substance. So I would like this to be on par with either of those, really. But I guess we'll see what happens. James Watkins is a fine director. I talked about this in one of the videos. He really does feel like a gun for hire on this, where the only reason they couldn't get Flanagan to do it is because he was doing something else. But yeah, I mean, the thing though is like Flanagan has a vision for Clayface. He's been talking about this Clayface movie since like 2021, I think it was. It's been a while that he's talked. Like the DCEU was still a thing when he was talking about a Clayface movie, that he had an idea. So this has been like in his mind for a long time, like kind of a passion for him. And he didn't get to direct it. Like that honestly takes so much out of this for me. Because like what vision does Watkins have for Clayface? Not to say that he doesn't. He might have an angle on this that once he read the script, he was like, I got something to say. I can do this. But I think, you know, like what makes like the Batman appealing is it's Matt Reeves. He wrote it, he directed it. It's his Batman vision. So for Clayface, it's Flanagan's Clayface vision, his script, his story, his idea, his concepts. But a different guy just happened to bring it to life. Like I don't know. It just takes so much wind out of it for me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe when Watkins starts doing interviews, he'll kind of reveal that, you know, he has some kind of passion for this. Because so far in his filmography, he does just feel like a director for hire. A good director, but still just one for hire. Where someone else writes a script and he comes along and he's like, yeah, I can do that. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Because it does look very good. I am very, very excited. Anywho, Coyote versus ACME trailer. This is being distributed by Catch Up Entertainment because they acquired it from Warner Brothers because, what was it? I think it was like 2023. Warner Brothers decided they weren't going to release this movie for whatever reason, and they were going to write it as a tax write-off. So my understanding of how that works is a movie gets made and Warner Brothers decides that it would be more cost effective to write this off on our taxes and get a small return. They don't get it even. So if the movie costs like, I think the budget of this is like around like $70 million, I want to say. It might be more. I don't really know. They don't get that back on their taxes. They still take a loss, but in their minds, or at least in the minds of the board or Zaslav or whoever, it's a smaller loss than if they were to release it in theaters with marketing and everything. Because typically for a marketing budget, the rule is in Hollywood is you double the budget of the film, which isn't always entirely accurate. But then that's like regarded for what it takes to break even. So if a movie costs $100 million, it needs to then make $400 million to break even. That's kind of the rule, because it's $100 million and then another $100 million, $200 million. So then it needs to make $400 million to break even. That's kind of the math in Hollywood. So they decided to write this one off on their taxes, which they also did to the Batgirl movie. And they were just going to take a little bit of a loss because they seemed to not have any faith in this movie, the Coyote versus ACME. But then they started shopping it around because people wanted it. Netflix didn't want it. I don't know who else they shopped to, but eventually Ketchup Entertainment, they managed to get it. So now they're releasing it. And I think this looks really fun. I love the Looney Tunes. I really do. I think they're great. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I do enjoy the Looney Tunes quite a bit. I love the blend of animated to live action, that like Roger Rabbit type shit. I love that. Looney Tunes back in action was my fucking jam as a kid. So like I love this. I think this looks really fun. I also appreciate that we're not just doing Bugs and Daffy again. I feel like Bugs and Daffy, they're often like sometimes the only thing the Looney Tunes brand kind of recognizes. Like there's a lot of really fun characters in Looney Tunes. But like things like Space Jam, I forgot about Space Jam. There was a second Space Jam movie that nobody liked. I never saw it. I'm not going to. Anyway, maybe that's why they didn't want to release this, because they were like, oh shit, nobody fucking liked that. Let's not do this anymore. That's entirely possible. Anywho, this looks good. I like it. I also, like I was saying, I like that it's centered around different Looney Tunes characters. Like centering around the Coyote, and his, him trying to sue Acme for all of their things not working properly or, blowing him up. That's fun. I like that. I think it's a really fun idea. Will Forte's great. John Cena's incredible. Like, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this. I think there's a lot to like here. And I also think because of the drama around it with the cancellation and shit, it puts a lot of eyes on this. So I think there's a really good chance that this is very successful. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on that. Okay, and the last piece of news we're going to talk about is Noah Hawley. So Noah Hawley he's a showrunner, he's a director. People probably know him from things like Fargo, Legion, he showran. More recently, Alien Earth, which I really like, personally. I know not all the Alien fans like it. I love Alien Earth. I think it's very, very compelling and good. I really enjoyed it. Not without its flaws, but I still really liked it. And he's going to be doing or showrunning at least, a Far Cry TV show, which I didn't know was happening. I heard about that this week. That was news to me. I like Far Cry a lot. Where's Far Cry 7, Ubisoft? You fucks? Where are all those rumors about Cillian Murphy playing the next Far Cry villain? Where's all that? You fucks? You doing fucking Black Flag remake, which looks really good? Fuck you. Where's Far Cry 7? Anyway, didn't like Far Cry 6. But Noah Hawley did an interview, or at least, I think it was. He did an interview at Deadline. It was a good read, actually. I really liked it. Good article. He talked about Alien Earth a little bit. He said they're going to start filming. I'm going to pull up the article so I can read parts of it. They're going to start filming the second season this summer, which is good because there's been some long wait times between seasons of Fargo. So the fact that we're going to probably get Alien Earth Season 2, I would assume next year. That's pretty good. 2-year gap. That's not bad. A lot better than other things. Not as good as things like Daredevil and Fallout, where we get a new season every year. That's fucking awesome. Keep doing that. I miss yearly television. I don't like Abbott Elementary's got a new season like every year. It's awesome. I don't like that I have to wait 5 years for shows nowadays. It fucking sucks. It pisses me off. Where is the second season of Blue Eye Samurai? Bring it back. Where's Mizu? Where is she? Ugh, fuck, now I'm mad about that. Anyway, Noah Hawley interview. Sorry. So there's a comment he makes in this regarding the Far Cry adaptation. Let me see if I can find it here. That people are kind of ripping to shreds. And I think at face value, if you just see his comment and you don't see like the other stuff he was talking about, I think it does sound bad. But again, it's a context thing. So here we go. This is Noah Hawley, a quote by Noah Hawley. One thing that really attracted me to the Far Cry franchise is that it is an anthology, and every time they release a new game, it's a totally different story. That's how I approach Fargo, and it was an exciting idea that we could build an anthology game adaptation where each season is a different story about civilized people thrown into situations where they have to become increasingly uncivilized. That right there is him displaying an understanding of Far Cry, of what Far Cry is, because that's always been the point, that you're, 3, I think, is the best example of it, where you're a normal guy on vacation with your friends, and you happen to land on this island run by terrible people. Voss is there, and now you've got to, do some guerrilla warfare to survive and get off. It's a very simple premise, but then there's the second part of his quote. Here we go. Actually, you know what? That's okay. We're almost to that part. Sorry. Continuing Noah Hawley's words. I'm not specifically adapting any of the games that they've put out. I'm saying much as I did with the Coens or X-Men or Alien, let me have a dialogue with this franchise, because this is what I think a Far Cry story is. We can have a larger conversation about the strengths and weaknesses of adapting video games specifically, because games are built in a way that doesn't make for the best drama. So I don't think he's entirely wrong there. He also kind of touches on an idea that I've had for a little while now about how sometimes video games shouldn't be adapted. And I think if you are going to adapt a video game, you should be adapting that world, that story, not story, that the world, the lore around it, not necessarily the game itself. I think Fallout does that really well, centering on Lucy in the Fallout world. I think is a great idea. Arcane does it. There's a couple other ones, but even the Mario movies, they don't, even Mario Galaxy, they don't directly adapt one of the games. Honestly, I think maybe they should have for the Galaxy one, but kind of throwing the Mario into the Mario world with the Mario shenanigans, but crafted around a new story, I think is not a terrible idea. Those movies are not good, but I think the idea is okay. Turning God of War into a TV show is a mistake. The Last of Us into a TV show, Uncharted, whatever, it's a mistake. Sometimes, and more often than not, media is made for the medium it exists in for a reason. The Last of Us is designed as a video game. It's meant to be a video game. So to take that and put it into a medium that is not a video game, you're going to lose something, because you're taking something that was designed to be a game and making it not a game. You're going to lose something. Same with God of War. And I think Far Cry, it also kind of is designed around it being a video game. And continuing with Noah Hawley was saying, and this is the part that everyone's kind of up his ass about, but I think people have this wrong. So he says, when you play a video game, you only really move forward through the gameplay section, and then you have these cutscenes that you can skip. So when you go to adapt those games, you have to be aware that makes the human drama kind of irrelevant to the storyline. That is death for a show. So a lot of people took that to mean that he hates the Far Cry story, or he hates cutscenes in games, or Far Cry specifically, or what have you, or that he skips the cutscenes. But that's not what he's saying. What he's saying here is that because the cutscenes are skippable, it creates the option of skipping them. It creates the option of ignoring the plot and just focusing on the gameplay, which is, ultimately that is the point of a video game, to play the video game. And I know people that just skip cutscenes because they just want to do the video game. Those people exist. He's not wrong in that. And so what he's saying is he is aiming to take a video game like Far Cry that is based around the run and gun gameplay, but put it into a story that is absolutely unskippable. That's what he's saying. That you have these cutscenes that you can skip. So when you go to adapt these games, you have to be aware that makes the human drama kind of irrelevant to the storyline. That is death for a show. So he's saying that, and I don't entirely agree with him, but what he's saying is because the cutscenes are skippable at all, it means that the developers or the storytellers are saying that this plot isn't necessarily important. You can skip this because the point of our game is the gameplay, which I don't think's entirely wrong, right? But at the same time, Far Cry is built on its stories. It's built on the idea of these charismatic villains that like Bond, we have Bond style villains that have monologues and big plans and what have you. But I understand what he's saying, that the very act that you can skip this and it doesn't necessarily break the video gaming experience. It does take kind of something away from the narrative, right? The idea that if it was super integral to the gameplay or the gaming experience, you wouldn't be able to skip it, right? Like, you can't just skip a gameplay section in Far Cry or The Last of Us or what have you. You have to play through it because that's the intended point of the gameplay experience. The cutscenes can be skipped because what he's saying is that the developers are saying with the skippable cutscene that it is not integral to the gameplay experience. The gameplay is what takes precedent because you can't skip that. That's the whole point of the game. But also, I mean, you can skip cutscenes. Usually, I would say more often than not, it's because you played it before. So you just, like, I've seen this. I just, but also, again, people do skip the cutscenes. So I understand what he's saying. I don't necessarily think that he's right, but I understand what he's saying. I think people are really ripping apart what he's talking about in a way that he didn't intend. But outside of that, yeah, I'm really looking forward to a Far Cry series. Will it be good? I don't know. There's also an Assassin's Creed series in the works at Netflix, I believe. And there's a Watch Dogs movie happening. Man, Ubisoft is just doing everything but making new games. Cool. Fucking hell. But yeah, that's it for the news this week. Let's get ready to talk about Michael. Okay, Michael. It is the biopic about Michael Jackson, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jafar Jackson as Michael Jackson. This movie is making a lot of money. The general audience is really, really enjoying this, and I do want to talk about that, the divide between the general audience and the critics. But where do I stand on this movie? The famous RoastTurkey. It's not good. This is not a very good or interesting movie, I think. There's a lot to say and also a lot that doesn't need to be said. No spoilers for this movie, but there's nothing to spoil anyway, and that's one of my biggest issues, that nothing fucking happens in this movie. But yeah, this is not very good, and I think this is a real fucking conversation starter about where general audiences are at, what they're looking for, and the malice they hold for critics, which I think is very unwarranted. So Michael tells the story of Michael Jackson. It starts when he's young, the formation and kind of the career of the Jackson 5, into his solo career, and kind of the creation of the Thriller album, but then kind of about his relationship with his dad, and then it ends. That is literally it. And then it just fucking stops. There is no clear-cut first, second, third act in this movie. You're just basically watching a handful of clips of things that he maybe did or didn't do, moments, and then it's over. It doesn't follow like a specific story. It doesn't build to anything. It has no angle on Michael Jackson. It doesn't have anything interesting to say. It's just a toothless movie. It's spineless. It's so uninteresting. The only parts of this movie that I genuinely enjoyed, Jafar Jackson is fantastic. He is genuinely incredible. Absolutely sensational performance. There are moments where I really did think that was Michael Jackson. All right, full disclosure, he's fantastic. I saw people on Twitter that were like, he doesn't even really look like him. He doesn't sound like him. Dude, are you fucking stupid? He looks like Michael. He sounds exactly like Michael. There are moments, Michael, I know, he's my buddy. But there are moments where he's talking, I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking Michael Jackson. So yeah, that, great, fantastic. Bringing him to life, excellent. The dancing, the singing. I don't know this for a fact. Did he sing? Is that Jafar Jackson doing a cover of the songs? I don't think it is. I think that they actually just play the song. Like, I think it's him lip syncing to like the actual song. Like, there's a sequence where he performs Billie Jean, and I'm pretty sure it's just the song. But like that sequence was great. It actually felt like you were watching Michael Jackson perform. But then that is also a problem I have with the movie, but we'll get to that. And then the other thing I liked was the music. Like, Michael Jackson is an incredible artist. Regardless of all of the pedophile stuff that he absolutely 100% definitely did. He is an incredible artist. And I don't really want to talk about that because it's not like a fun thing to talk about, but he definitely did that shit. And it's weird how we all went from knowing that he did that shit. Joanne Rivers was on TV talking about it. The Scary Movies talk about it. Chris Rock talked about it in his sets in the early 2000s. Like, this was a known thing. It was one of those things where everybody was like, yeah, Michael Jackson, the incredible pop star. Yeah, so what, he touches kids. The music's good. It was just weird. And then all of a sudden, there's been like this fucking incredible resurgence of people defending it. Or not defending it, but I guess just saying that it didn't happen. But he definitely did it. Anyway, hearing the Michael Jackson music in the theater, like with that sound system on the big screen, liked that a lot. But that's not a praise to the movie. You know, like, you don't get praise for having good needle drops. Like, the song is my praise. The movie just happened to have it in there, you know? Like, I'm not going to praise this movie because it has Michael Jackson's music. Michael Jackson's music is good. It happened to be in the movie. That, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not incredible praise. This isn't good. And the only thing that people like about this is like, oh, I got to see Michael Jackson. What if he did his big dance? What if Michael Jackson did a dance? What if Michael Jackson did Thriller? What if I got to see Thriller? What if what was old is new again? It's such a fucking crowd pleaser. And that's probably my biggest problem with this movie, is that every single aspect of this movie is curated and designed to please the crowd. It's like a meticulously made by committee crowd-pleasing movie. You know, like, what's going to get a big reaction? This. What's going to, get everyone really hyped? This. What, it's so sauceless. There is not an ounce of passion or artistry in this movie. And people are fucking eating it up. It's really weird to me. Like, I keep trying to give audiences the benefit of the doubt that, things like Avengers Doomsday, that's going to be fucking cameos galore, isn't what they want. But it obviously is. Like, the what the general audience wants is a crowd-pleasing film that doesn't challenge them or their perception of reality in any capacity. They don't want an interesting or engaging story. They want to see a thing they already know done again. What if that Michael Jackson song that every single person alive knows was done in a movie and you got to see it? That's it. That's the pitch of this film. Whereas movies like Rocket Man or Better Man, which are really good biopics, I think, especially Better Man. Better Man, I think, is the best of these. They have an angle. The Springsteen one, which I didn't love, but it has an angle. That Springsteen movie that came out last year, the one with Jeremy Allen White, the angle of that movie is you're going to watch Bruce Springsteen make his next big album, right? So that's what the movie's about. That's its story. Him making this next big album. So he's like creating the songs. He's trying to find a new sound. The pressure is on, but he's also met a woman he really loves. So he's got that kind of turmoil in his life. He's reflecting on his relationship with his father while his father's health is declining. The movie has an angle. It wants to show you Springsteen in a very specific light in a very specific time of his life. It has a story to tell. Better Man does that with Robbie Williams. It also has the gimmick of him as a chimpanzee, which I think absolutely works. But also, it's about showing you like the nitty gritty of his life. Well, it's also a musical. It commits to the musical aspect of the movie. There's incredible musical sequences in that. Really great recreations and recontextualizations of Robbie Williams' music. It's a film committed to being a film with a story to tell, with artistry and passion behind it. And Michael has none of that. It's just a matter of, ooh, what if you saw him learn to do the dance he did for Beat It? What if he sang Billie Jean in that performance that's online that you could watch for free if you chose to? What if they recreated for a little bit the Thriller music video, which is online, and you could see it for free if you wanted to? What if you got to see this other performance that's online that you could watch? You get the bit. It's an uninteresting movie. There's no angle. There's no intrigue. You know, like, oh, his dad was awful and abusive and he wrote him and Michael was scared of him and this and that. Okay, I know that from the Wikipedia article. What's the angle? Why, like, what's supposed to make this super compelling? Coleman Domingo is very good in this too. But I don't know. It gets old after a while. The whole, like, my dad sucks and I don't like him and I'm kind of afraid of him thing. Like, I don't know. I just didn't find it compelling. The pacing of this movie is really weird too, because it has pacing. Obviously, every movie has pacing, but it also feels like it doesn't, because things just happen. It's just a sequential order of this moment happens and this moment happens and that moment happens, and then it ends. It just ends. It doesn't because the movie is not building to anything, because it doesn't have a story, it doesn't have an angle, it doesn't have any intrigue in actually doing something or telling an interesting story about Michael Jackson. The movie doesn't crescendo to anything. There's no build up to a moment. The way that, like, Rocket Man is about Elton John fighting his abusive manager, his addiction to substances, his relationship with his mother. It's about him overcoming all of that while becoming the Elton John, the superstar. The movie culminates with I'm still standing, because after all the hardships you watched him endure and that he overcomes, he's still standing. It's powerful. Better Man, it builds to him, Robbie Williams overcoming the awful shit that he was doing to the people in his life. It builds to him realizing, I need to get help. This path I'm on is destructive. It's hurting me, everyone around me. I need to stop. That's what it's building to. And it all culminates in him when he plays the, I forgot, that famous theater in England, and he, gets to, like, reconcile with his dad, and it's beautiful. And yes, it is a recreation of a thing that's online that you can watch, but they also dramatize it, and it makes that movie version of it have a lot of power behind it. It's really well done. Michael doesn't do that. It doesn't have anything to build to, because there's no story. It's just moment, we're done. It's so weird. And then when it ends, it says, his story continues. What does that mean? What does that mean? We're going to do Michael 2, where we're going to talk about how he definitely didn't touch children? What are we fucking doing here? And that's another thing that I have a problem with in this movie. I know the Jackson family estate had their hands all over this. They had, like, full creative control. I know that. So I guess this was to be expected. But what a fucking curated version of him in this movie. Oh my God. Like, he's infantilized to all hell in this. He doesn't swear. He doesn't touch any drink other than orange juice the entire movie. There is a shot in this movie of him in a boardroom meeting, and everyone's drinking their glass of water, but not Michael Jackson. He's got a big old glass of orange juice because, oh, geez, oh, shucks, Michael Jackson, he's just a kid at heart. He just wants his juice. He says, please and thank you, and oh, that's so nice of you, all the fucking time. Not in, like, Michael Jackson, he was a businessman. Like, he was cutthroat when it needed to be. I don't know everything about him, but I know that. I also know he was kind of a player. That's not a criticism. That's just kind of how it was. So songs like Billie Jean might mean something. That kid is not my son, right? The implication being that we've slept together. You're saying this kid is mine, and I'm saying no. Or maybe we didn't sleep together, and you're just making shit up. This version of Michael Jackson in this movie has never had sex. Like, there's not, what a sexless character. Nah. Infantilized to all hell. Just watch his cartoons and Charlie Chaplin movies all the time. Sitting as a grown man, sitting on the couch with his mom, eating ice cream like, oh, geez, Mom, you're gonna go to bed, you're gonna leave me all alone here. Mom, please stay. A lot of that shit going on. There's a part where he pulls up to his brothers and he's like, hey, guys, who wants to play Twister like the old days? And they're like, dude, I have a wife and kids. And the other one's like, I have a date tonight. The other one's like, we hitting the town. Yeah, because they're fucking adults. And he's like, oh, geez, guys, you want to play Twister? Yeah. It's so fucking annoying. Like, what an infantilized version of him. Like, it's propaganda is what it is. Just like this pure guy, never did a thing wrong in his life, just, clean, straight edge, just this and that. And that's not to say that Michael Jackson was like, slamming coke or anything, but also Yeah, he probably was. Who fucking wasn't back then? And the whole, the kids thing, the kids thing. Just what a fucking toothless movie. It's got nothing to say, has no angle at all, and it's not interesting. It's boring. Now, I do want to talk about the audience-critic divide in this, because I think it's interesting. Like I was saying, the general audience is very clearly wanting just straight, like, here's a thing that you might remember. What if what was old is new again, right? The Stranger Things effect, I guess we can call it. And that's what most of this is. And you know what? I liked the songs again. Like that sequence where you see him perform Billie Jean is my favorite scene in the movie. But I could watch that. That they recreated a real thing that's online. I'm not praising you for that. You did something that all happened, and I could just watch it online for free. And again, Better Man does that. Better Man takes moments from Robbie Williams' life and his career that are online, that like televised performances that you could watch online. But in Better Man, they dramatize it. They add layers to it because they found a way to work those real life moments into the story they were trying to tell, and it works. Michael can't do that because it doesn't have a fucking story. So they are forced to just, here's a thing that he did. Watch him do the thing. It's so uninteresting. And it amazes me that this movie is getting the praise that it's getting. That people are really like, this is a masterpiece. This is the best movie I've ever seen. This is so good. The critics got it wrong. What are you, 5? Which I know sounds really demeaning, but really, like, what? What are you, 5? Is that what you want? You don't want anything to challenge you? You don't want movies to move you, to have something to say? You just want to see a thing you've already seen before? The Thriller recreation is probably the best example of it, where they just, for a very brief moment, recreate parts of the Thriller music video. And I thought, like, because you see them doing the music video, and then he's like, all right, pause. And I thought that was going to be something. I thought for a moment that there was going to be an angle here. We're going to see some behind the scenes shit, and you just don't. It's just him going like, I don't know if I'm really doing this right. And someone goes, just trust the process, Michael. And he goes, okay. And then they do it. Wow, that was a great use of the runtime. Fuck me. But this is really what people want. This is what the general audience is eating up. It's so bizarre to me, really. Like, I thought, like, movies like Sinners, like, doing so well was a sign that general audiences were moving beyond this, that people want to be challenged. The Drama is a movie that asks you to question societal norms, to raise questions about gun control and gun violence in America. And that movie is doing very well in terms of, like, the box office and reviews from the general audiences and the critics alike. And I thought, like, wow, okay, so we're really going to move past this. And then something like this comes out and I lose all my faith in the general audience. It just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just, I don't know. I don't like to shame people for the things that they enjoy. Like, if you like this movie, more power to you. Go for it. But I don't know. I mean, to sit back and to not enjoy this for what it is, right? To think that this movie is something that it's not, that this is some, highbrow piece of cinema, that this is like a real honest to God film, that this has anything to say at all, is a lie. And I think if someone could watch this and say, okay, so this isn't interested in telling a story, it doesn't have an angle on Michael Jackson, but I like the music, I like seeing the performances, I like the performance of Jafar Jackson, this and that, but I acknowledge that it's lacking a story and a purpose, and it's toothless. But I enjoyed the other parts of it. Fine, because that's you acknowledging what it is. But to sit there and be like, this is the definitive Michael Jackson movie experience, like this is the be-all, end-all, this is it. It's a fucking lie, man. I don't know. To not engage with media in a way that analyzes it and unpacks it just kind of bothers me. It rubs me the wrong way. I know that's snobby, but I don't know. But yeah, no, to wrap up my thoughts on Michael, did not care for it. It has nothing to say, doesn't have a story to tell, there's no angle to it, feels like really, really aggressive, like pro-Michael Jackson infantilization propaganda, and it's just not interesting. I found it quite boring, in all honesty. I don't know, I didn't like it, did not care for it at all. So, let's move on. Weekly Media Club. Let's talk about a movie that I actually did really enjoy. Okay, Weekly Media Club. So as a reminder for anyone here, or just if this is your first show and you don't know how this works, every week I assign homework. It's a movie that I will watch, and I want you other people to watch it too. You leave comments on the video, the podcast episode, I guess, and hopefully someone one day will do it, and I'll get to talk about it. But no one's done it yet, so it's just me talking about a movie. Homework for the last week was The Apprentice. Which is the Michael Jackson. No, I'm still talking about Jackson. Fuck. It's the Donald Trump biopic starring Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump. I liked this a lot. I thought this was really, really good. And especially to go from The Apprentice to Michael, like a biopic that has an angle, has a story, has teeth to speak on some really heinous shit that Trump did. And then to go to Michael, and it's like, what if he was the best guy around? And what if he did a big funny dance and he was the best and he had a little CGI monkey? I just, to go from prime time shit to mid probably didn't help my thoughts on Michael. Anyway, The Apprentice. So the angle of The Apprentice is it tells the story of how Donald Trump met Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn. How he met Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong, and how he was Roy Cohn's apprentice. That's why it's called The Apprentice. Also because of the show The Apprentice. And how Roy Cohn, I'm just going to call him Cohn, how Cohn taught him how to basically be Donald Trump. And Ivana Trump is in this, played by Maria Bakalova, and it's very compelling. Especially, I think every once in a while there's a movie based on a real person, a biopic, that requires prior knowledge. Some of them don't, like Better Man. Like, I didn't know who Robbie Williams was before I saw Better Man. And so to go into that and see his story, and then, when I was out, I did some reading about him and this and that. I didn't need the prior knowledge to enjoy that movie. But I think things like Oppenheimer, you need prior knowledge about World War II to enjoy that movie. I think so, because I think if you go into that not knowing what World War II is, I don't know how that's even possible, but you wouldn't enjoy that film. And this movie, I don't think you could enjoy The Apprentice without having an understanding of who Donald Trump is and the shit that he's done. Not necessarily the headline stuff, but just to analyze him and follow him politically. I don't think you can enjoy this. But I have, so I got a lot out of this, and I really enjoyed this. Jeremy Strong is amazing in this. He really is, as Roy Cohn. He really balances that line between playing a absolutely detestable character. I say character, he's a real person. Character, it's a movie. Playing an absolute detestable character who's really fun to watch. But also, I guess that's just Jeremy Strong. He's great. He really is. Succession's great. But Maria Bakalova is really good as Ivana. She's great. I like Maria Bakalova a lot. But it's Sebastian Stan, dude. He fucking nails this. He's so fucking good. There are moments in this where I really thought that was Trump. There's a couple shots in this where it looks just like him. I don't know what they did. The prosthetics they put on him. There's some things where I was like, holy shit, that's actually him. But then there's also other shots where it just looks like Sebastian Stan in a fat suit. So, good with the bad. But his performance is incredible. The thing that I enjoyed the most about his performance is that as the movie progresses, you see him become more like Trump. You see the things develop. You see, he's still obviously Trump when the movie starts, but by the end of it, he's doing the whole it's bigger than you've ever seen. It's the greatest. No one's ever seen anything like it. It's a lot of that. I don't think I can do a good Trump impression anymore. I used to be able to do a really good one. But I can't anymore. I lost it sometime. But even the hand thing, he starts to do that a lot. The Trump shit that he likes to do. He starts doing that a lot as the movie progresses. But he fucking nails it. He's so good. And by the third act of this movie, he's just Trump. He looks like him. He sounds like him. He's just nailing everything. The inflection, the mannerism. It's really uncanny, honestly. He's really good in this. I love the way this is shot too. It's got I don't know the aspect ratio exactly, but it's got a different aspect ratio than most movies. Like the widescreen doesn't do that. It has like a more condensed shot composition, and I really enjoyed that. It's got a film grain filter over it that looks really good. They might have filmed this on film actually. I don't know, but I think it's a filter. But it looks really good. It's shot mostly in handheld shots, which is designed to give it kind of a like a documentary feel. There are people following Trump and Roy Cohn in these moments, in these historical incidences, which I really appreciated and enjoyed. It adds a level of believability to this, I think. And again, like, because Sebastian Stan plays this as good as he does, you could be tricked by certain sequences out of context that maybe this is a documentary. I just thought that was really, really cool. And I was also really shocked at the things that this movie touches on. The alleged sexual assault of Ivana Trump, which she's talked about how he pinned her down in the carpet, forced himself on her, what have you, which the movie depicts. That's a scene in this movie. I didn't think they were going to do that. But, you know, like, again, like, as opposed to Michael, this is a movie that's willing to tell a story, that's willing to show you the ins and outs of these people, these real people that really did terrible shit. But, like, I made my dad watch this with me. My dad fucking hates Trump. So for him to watch this, and I hadn't seen this before, so for us to watch this, especially my dad, to see, like, the origin story of this guy that he hates was really funny. Because you know, like, and Trump's talked about it. It's a known thing that he is who he is as a businessman and as a politician to an extent because of Roy Cohn. He created Trump in a lot of ways, like, you know, like the whole, you know, never surrender, never admit defeat, don't admit when you're wrong, this and that. That's all stuff we've seen Trump play into and do over the course of his political career as the country's lead political villain for the last fucking decade. Jesus, it's amazing it's been that fucking long. Fuck me. Shit. I tried, like, standing up for a second and my leg gave out. Oh, I'm dying. Body no worky no more. But yeah, no, The Apprentice, I really, really enjoyed it, man. Like, harrowing, unpleasant. I wouldn't say it was, like, a fun watch. It's funny. I think it's a funny movie. But I wouldn't say it's, like, a fun watch, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm, like, chomping at the bit to watch it again. But I really did like it. I would watch it again, honestly. Like, I thought it was very, very good. I would be curious to see what, like, a Trump supporter would think of this movie. And I think that was the issue when it came out, because I don't think it did very well at the box office. Because effectively, it's a movie for nobody. Like, people that love Trump are probably not going to want to see a movie that's critical of him. And then people that hate Trump, they don't want to go see a movie about him at all because they hate him. Even if its angle is he's the worst and we're going to show you the story of how he became the way that he is. They still, like, you know, people are kind of turned off by that. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. And I cannot talk about Sebastian Stan enough. He's amazing in this. I think Sebastian Stan's incredible. One of, like, the best actors working today. And his filmography is so interesting because Florence Pugh does this too, where they do the big blockbusters to kind of, you know, cover the bills, but then they'll do the fun indie films on the side, which are the things that you can tell they put a lot more effort into. Like the way that Sebastian Stan plays Bucky Barnes in, like, Thunderbolts. It's not that he's not good in it. He is, but you can tell that he's settled into this role. Like, he knows how to do it. He shows up, stands on his X, says his lines, and he's done. But then something like this, there's like an extra layer of care and passion he's putting into this performance. Or even like A Different Man, where you can tell that it's something he's, like, passionate about. He cares a little bit more about it. He's going a little harder. Same with, like, Florence Pugh, the way that she does, you know, the Marvel movies, but then you'll see her in something like We Live in Time, where she's going a little harder than she does in the blockbuster stuff. And I think that's just a really compelling thing to see actors do. So I like that a lot. But yeah, The Apprentice, very good. I liked it a lot. Unsettling as shit, a harrowing watch, but truly impeccable, genuinely. But okay, homework for next week is going to be Hereditary, because I've never seen it, and I have a friend in my life who keeps begging me to watch it, so I'm going to finally watch Hereditary. I've been hearing about this movie forever, that apparently it's terrifying, it's this, it's that, it's blah 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 blah. So I'm excited to finally get to it. So homework for next week is Hereditary. Kind of looking forward to it, kind of nervous. I guess we'll see what happens. But the final thing we're going to talk about today in the Weekly Media Club, because I also like to talk about like the things that I've been reading, watching, enjoying. Invincible's over now. That was good. I've enjoyed the terrible right-wing discourse about how the show promotes abortion and how they're all mad about it. I think that's really stupid. The show, I wouldn't even say like promotes abortion. It really just, it has a character who got an abortion. Like, I don't know. I mean, why would you even get upset about that? It's fucking fictional. There's a whole BoJack Horseman episode about getting abortion. That's a really good episode too. But also like that's such a small part of the episode that Eve got an abortion. Who fucking cares? I don't know. Didn't have a problem with it. I like that final episode. I thought that was really good. Just like a real like an epilogue. It felt like an earned epilogue. With like the growing tension of where is Thrag, what's happening, what's he gonna do next. I enjoyed that a lot. I think The Boys is just treading water at this point. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen, because so far it's just been, we need to go from point A to point B to look for a thing. They get there and go, it's not here. We need to retreat and go do another thing. But it's on the retreat that a bunch of like action drama shit happens. Which I've yet to find really compelling or interesting. So I'm hoping that, because we're almost approaching the half of the halfway mark of the season, so I really need this show to lock the fuck in. Final season, and I'm just not feeling the stakes or intrigue or anything. So clock's fucking ticking, guys. Anywho, let's talk about Absolute Wonder Woman. I didn't get a physical copy of this, unfortunately. I ordered one so I could have it, because I'm trying to, that's another thing. Hang on. So I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that I've been trying to collect all of Absolute Batman, the single issues. And I didn't care if I had like first printings. I just wanted the A covers on them. And I have it. I did it. I accumulated them all. I have them all. So I've got, like one, which one says 5. I've got them all. The only one I don't have is 13, but I did order it. I got it. I'm Ricari. I actually did get a first printing of that one. Which I'm very excited about. I think some of these are, now it's a third printing. But I do have all the first printings post 15. Yeah, like I have a first printing of the Arc M special, and then 16. This is like when I started, because I was just getting it all digitally up until that point. And then I started going to my comic book shop. There's one like right where I work. So I just started going there. I'm a regular now. He knows me. It's actually so nice to be a regular at a place. But I have like the first printing is all the new ones. And then I have some other variants in my box. But yeah, I am so happy. I have all of Absolute Batman physically now. And the reason I wanted this is because, like one day this run's going to be over. Like this Absolute Batman's going to be done. Scott Snyder, he's talked about him and Dragata have an ending planned. So like one day this is all going to end. So to be able to have it all physically, that, like one day I can like look back and be like, oh my God, like I have all like 170 issues of Absolute Batman. You remember fucking 14 when he fought Bane? That was cool. Like I just think that's cool. Remember when the Joker debuted? I just think that's cool. I do have a first printing of one of the variants on this one, but I wanted the A cover. And I have I have a first printing variant of the Bane issue. Which one's that? 14. But yeah, I'm really happy to have this. I'm trying to get all of Absolute Wonder Woman the same way. I really want both of them all physically, because I've been reading what's it called? Absolute Green Lantern digitally, which is good, and I do like it, but I'm kind of okay with just having that one digitally. I'm not chomping at the bit to get all of Green Lantern physically in my collection, but I did want all of Batman, and I would like all of Wonder Woman. But this new one, he didn't get a shipment in time, so I ordered from College Comics, which is great. I've ordered from them a handful of times. They're great. Love them. But yeah, so anywho, Absolute Wonder Woman 19. Let me put this down. Let me get my tablet. Absolute Wonder Woman 19. This is the 4 out of 5 part of the Season of the Witch arc, which is dealing with Zatanna. This is a good issue. I will say, of this arc, my high point with it was the one before last where that was the annual. No, it wasn't. It's the one where she fights Giganta. I've gone back and forth on the name, but that's a great issue where the Suicide Squad rocks up and they fight Wonder Woman, and she just immediately incapacitates most of them, which then leaves her to fight Giganta, and it's a great fight. It's so fucking cool, and Hayden Sherman's art's incredible because they are a remarkable artist. But this, and then the last month's issue was the fight between Wonder Woman and Zatanna, which was also really good. But this one, it deals with I guess, I wouldn't call it a fight, but it's her going up against Giovanni Zatara, Zatanna's dad. And they also do something, and I don't know how I feel about this, but they introduce, which god is this? Whichever god this is it Athena? Is it? I don't think so. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really matter. Anywho, it's addressed that she bestowed upon Diana the power of being loved by basically everybody. That she explains it as, let me see if I can find the exact quote. My power, there are many facets to it, but one is that loving me is not entirely a choice. And then Cersei says, and you gave that to Diana. I did. Not a lot, but enough to help her, to smooth her way forward, to enjoin others to her side, to her causes. But now she will never know whether someone loves her because they love her or because they have no choice, because your power inside her compels it. That I don't know how I feel about, because so far in this run, everybody loves Wonder Woman, except even Dr. Poison softens around Wonder Woman. And the only people that have been kind of immune to it is Veronica Cale and what's her name? The woman the one who's in the Atlantean girl, whatever her fucking name is, the one who's in the maze, I forgot. Who is a known Wonder Woman villain. But they're the only ones that really just have a hard-on for trying to kill Diana. But I don't know if I like the idea that it's part of her power set that makes people love her. Even if it isn't, super strong, the idea that there's something about her that makes compels people to want to, assist her, love her, be at her side. I just don't know if I love that. I think it almost takes something away from her, where, because there are people in the real world that you meet and you just click with them. You just realize, this is a really likable person who everyone loves this person. I like this person. This is just a good presence to have. I always thought that was cool that Superman and Wonder Woman have that kind of aura, that when they're around, everything feels all right. That's just how they are. That's who they are as a person. So to almost take that away from Diana and make it so that essence she has been given to her by a god, I don't think I like that. There's a really good moment earlier in Absolute Wonder Woman where she's sitting in the woods talking to animals, and it's beautiful because, that paints Diana as this character that has so much unconditional love and care for just the world at large, humans, animals, every living thing she cherishes, she cares about. And to almost strip that care away and say that it's a power, I don't think I like that. That might be the only misstep I felt with this run from Kelly Thompson. But I don't know. Not the end of the world, but just something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then the way that she battles Giovanni Zatara, I do enjoy. She has this special lasso called I think it's called the Troikia. I don't actually know if that's how you say it though. But she puts him in this mind dimension. And then Zatanna shows up to help her dad, which I love. I love Absolute Zatanna. She's great. Giganta takes Barbara and Minerva, so I imagine she's going to be becoming Cheetah pretty soon. But then Zatanna saves Wonder Woman, which is really cool. She pretends to be Cersei. That's all really good. And then we get this, and I love this. I've always thought that Wonder Woman should be gay. I think it just makes a lot of sense. At minimum, she should be bisexual, in my opinion. So Kelly Thompson, she said that she does write Absolute Wonder Woman as a queer character. That's her intention. But it's a matter of if DC is willing to canonize that. But she, as a writer, is writing to make her a queer woman. It's just a matter of, does DC want to canonize that, or just kind of play it off as she loves everybody. She's got unconditional, unselfish love for all. Or does she also like fucking girls? Kelly Thompson says the latter. Which I like I said, I think Wonder Woman should be a queer character. I just think that makes sense. But will DC ever canonize that? I think people are quick to say no. I think someone like Batman will never be made queer. He's just too big of a character. Superman as well. If there were a queer Batman or a queer Superman, it would be like a legacy version of the character. They'd be like, oh, Dick Grayson's Batman and he likes men. But I don't think they're gonna make Bruce Wayne queer anytime soon. But Wonder Woman, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of possibility. But anywho, at the end of this, after she saves Giovanni Zatanna with Zatanna's help, and Zatanna saves Wonder Woman, and it looks like everything's gonna be okay. Veronica Cale gets fucking angry, and she sends in, what is this called? The Iron Maiden for Zatanna, meaning Giovanni. And so the final issue of this arc is going to be Wonder Woman fighting the Iron Maiden, which is this fucking thing, which is really cool looking. I don't know if the Iron Maiden's a thing in the traditional Wonder Woman mainline lore. I'm not overly familiar with Wonder Woman the way I am with like Batman, but I'm starting to. I'm actually on a huge Wonder Woman kick right now. I've been reading some of her like Golden Age stuff, which is pretty good. I have read the Greg Rucka run, but I need to go back to it because I don't even know if I finished it. I have it physically, but I don't know if I ever finished it. So I'm going to get back to that at some point. I rewatched the first Wonder Woman movie, the Gal Gadot one, and I'm going to make a video about Gal Gadot's run as Wonder Woman because I don't think it's very good. But yeah, I'm on a big Wonder Woman kick, and I love Absolute Wonder Woman. I think it's delightful, and then I have all the Absolute Batman now. But yeah, that's it for the show, I think. I think that's going to do it. I said this wouldn't be a long one, and I'm looking at my clock, and it says an hour 20. So I do have to edit it, though, so it might come down. Anywho, if you're here, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for indulging me. It absolutely means the world to me. Homework, like I said, is Hereditary, so give that a watch. And that's about it. So I hope you have a nice day. Thank you again for watching and indulging me. Bye.